Happy Monday. Good to see you guys. Come on in. How are you guys doing? How are you doing right after Christmas here? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's like I feel like I don't know. I get to this point of the year and I'm a little bit like I just need to get back to normal a tiny bit. Like I just need normalcy a little bit more routine, a little less scatteredness. OMG. Although it usually is just because we're having too much fun. So I can't complain about that at all. So how are you doing? Welcome to the show. If you do not know who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and we jump on Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we've done this for almost 2 years, and we talk about insulin resistance. My dad was a type 2 diabetic, insulin dependent, and he died at 63. So this has just been my motivation to get my life together. And so come on in, grab your coffee or your tea. I am drinking my aminos and my sugar-free electrolytes this morning. I've been sneezing, so none of that business. None of that business. So I'm going to make sure that I stay very, very hydrated. Electrolytes are really helpful, you guys. Like, you can even just make them yourselves. You don't even have to buy the ones that I have, but you can make them yourselves, but it helps like your water to water better. Like it really pushes that hydration into your cells. So who do we have? Good morning, Terry. Good to see you after a 70-degree Christmas. Oh, I'm so jelly. It's in the 20s in Tennessee. Oh man, you guys took a dive. Ivy. Yep, Tennessee. Good morning, Joan. Sounds like a cold nut. Well, I feel like I literally just had one little day of whatever. And I'm like, and now I can feel like it's leaving me that fast. So I'm super excited about that. Jan, good morning. Good morning. Magda from New York. Patty, good morning. Oh my gosh, you guys are all here. This is so fun. Very, very good. Okay, so I hope you just had a beautiful weekend. I hope that your weekend was, filled with maybe getting a little bit back on track. I did immediately put some stuff back into storage, and that felt kind of good. I'm not whatever. I didn't do everything, but just started kind of moving in that direction a little bit. Now we've got New Year's Eve coming up, etc. But here we go. So, all right. So let's just dive in today to a little bit of content for you. And by the way, you guys, so many of you have been sending me cards. Oh my gosh, like who are you? You send me Christmas cards? I'm so grateful. Like I have cards sitting over on my counter, and then I've got oh, you guys are just the best. Like seriously, thank you. Don't ever feel like you have to do that. Good morning, Barb. Good to see you. Okay, so here we go. There we go. There we go. All right, so this is really kind of like, I was really thinking about what is it that is the most frustrating, and this is for me. And so I always speak from my own experience, right? So when I started my 50s, when I turned 50 years old, I was a 2X in size, and my body shape, my body type has always been belly. It's always been belly. I'm more of a pear shape. And so, it's like the areas in our body that frustrate us the most, we all have simplistic answers for, or I should say, maybe I don't want to say simplistic answers, but it's similar answers for everybody. So like, for instance, I've been thinking about getting a vibration plate. Does anybody have a vibration plate for your lymphatic system? Does anybody have any kind of tools like that in your home where you're using things to get your lymphatic system? I did this morning. I woke up and I took a shower and I did my dry brushing. Is anybody using their dry brush? And you started at the bottom of my legs, and I dry brushed up. You open up. We should do a session on this. I don't know if anybody would be interested in this or not, but you open up your lymphatic system, like here underneath your arms and up here, and whatever. There are places on your body that you can open up your, kind of your trash can, so to speak. And then you can dry brush up and towards your heart and get that stuff to drain, get all of your toxins to drain, etc. And so there are pieces like that are common for all of us, but we all carry our weight in different places. And the truth is that there's a reason for it. It's not just random or there's actually a background conversation. So Lynn says she has a vibration plate and a rebounder, and you love them both. Thanks for saying that, Lynn, because I'm actually thinking about grabbing a couple of different items like off of Amazon and testing them out for you guys to see what you think. Is there anything else people want tested out? I'd be interested to know. You just got one, Tammy. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's super cool. Very, very good. Good morning, Tammy from South Carolina. I love that so much. Good to see you, Tammy. Joan, yes, please. You would like that. You would like to learn more about lymphatic system? Yeah. You did dry brush before each shower. Way to go, Barb. Way to go. Yeah. There are simple things. And I feel like we're finally coming into the age of like really receiving these things. We used to think, years ago, like that just wasn't a part of our wheelhouse. And we were very much kind of like, I don't know. Is that going to work? Is that not going to work? And so, but now we seem to be really open to it. So that's very exciting to me. So your belly, and that whole belly fat conversation, this whole, it's kind of frustrating because we're like, how do we ever get rid of our belly? That's kind of a thought process for so many of us. But what if it's not that your belly is the problem, even though it might be the problem when you're getting dressed or you're picking out clothes, but what if it's actually sending you signals? What if it's telling you something? Your belly is telling you something. So let's kind of dive into that thought process just a tiny bit. So Barb says, I would love a recommendation for a vibration plate. Okay. Yep. You have a vibration plate, Anne. That's fantastic. I love this, you guys. Anne says you have thyroid issues. So that's why. Okay. I think we should get into another section of because everything is remember I say everything is connected, right? Everything is very holistic. Everything is very, there's never just one answer. That's why it is the dumbest advice ever on the face of the planet. All you have to do is eat less, move more. It's like, that's not the fullness of a conversation that we as women need to be having, because we have many different layers to what's going on. And your situation is going to look different than my situation, etc. So anyway, okay. That's enough about that. All right. So your belly is responding to signals. And this is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about as we go into the new year. And I know we're frustrated with these pieces. Remember that next Monday, we start our next 5-day free challenge in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And right as we hit January, right as we hit January, we get to have another challenge. And if you guys have been following that process, which many of you have, but some of you are brand new to my content, we have created this system, this program where you are able to have not only like daily conversations like this, where we get to actually, touch on why we're doing what we're doing. And if we understand the why, then we will stay consistent longer. But then every month we do a free 5-day challenge inside of the group. And that is so that you can take 1 or 2 nuggets and then execute them in that month. And then we'll do another one the next month. And we've done that for 2.5 years. And this is how you guys have gotten the most amazing results. We take that, we add that with targeted supplementation that is very specific for your liver, your gut, and your insulin. We talk about that all the time, because when you get your body to function, it produces a different result for you. Okay. Having said that, this is where, if you can understand, give yourself a 90-day space, give yourself a 90-day run. What if you just take 90 days to see what you can do for your body? And so many of you, that's what you started with, was a 90-day thought process. And then once you realize that you could get your body to produce a different result, you're kind of like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. I like this. And then you kind of keep going, right? So some of you have a body that is in survival mode. I remember I talk about that, like when I took care of my mom with dementia, that really is what happens. Like your body does kind of go into survival mode, right? So your body might feel tight, puffy, reactive. Your belly shows up fast and then it disappears really slowly. And you're like, oh, that is like the opposite of what I want, right? You wake up and you already feel like you're behind, right? Maybe food feels like it backfires on you like all the time, no matter what you do. Really frustrating. Your sleep doesn't feel restorative. This isn't a belly problem. It's actually a body that, I mean, I don't mean to sound super dramatic, but it's just the way that your body perceives things. And your body's maybe just not feeling very safe. And I don't mean safe to, like people around you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how your body system is trying to function and it doesn't feel like it can function. So there's kind of this survival mode thought process that goes on with your body. That's why, like when we talk about vibration plates and lymphatic drainage, et cetera, and we're helping our body along. We're kind of like, it's kind of like self-care. I mean, and I feel like that's been overused too. But, like even this morning, so I get up, so here I am, I'm a tiny sneezy, but I'm like, the best thing that I can do for myself is to stay on task. Like, some of us do not love the taste of green tea. Maybe me. So when I drink my gut primer in the morning, right? When I drink my gut primer every morning, I'm like, oh, like it's green tea, whatever. So I always tell you guys, I put it in a small glass of water and I take it like a wellness shot. Very turmeric-y and gingery. Do you know that this morning it tasted phenomenal? And I know that sounds crazy, but when you taste that flood of nutrition in your body, you're like, it really is like a hug. And I know that sounds crazy, but I was like, oh, this tastes so good today. Cold water, it's greens, it's, turmeric and ginger, all the good things. And my body just goes, thank you. Thank you for fueling me. Right. So it's a self-care move more than anything. Right. But you also might have a body that is in like storage mode. Now, this is the one that we hate so much. This is where your belly feels heavier, lower, maybe kind of harder to move. Like it's just, it's frustrating. Feels stuck, right? Energy is low. Your cravings are like really loud, really loud. Progress feels impossible no matter how clean you eat, clean. It's protecting you the only way that it knows how. That's kind of how that goes, right? So I just have to laugh because I just think about all the years that I have spent inside of my head trying to figure out some of these basic concepts and how it has felt like, will I ever be able to move forward? Like when I was a 2X in size, you guys, I honestly did not make the changes because I actually believed that my body was going to finally change. I was at a point where I really thought that my body was never going to change. The only reason I made the changes was because my mother would not leave me alone about my sugars. And so I was like fearful enough. But when you just think it's going to be always the same. And it's not until you actually hit on these core issues and these core systems that get your body to produce a different result. And you're like, oh, well, okay, well, what else can I tweak? Okay, well, what else can I do, to make this a better result? And it just is, I know that if I lived in my head all the time, I know you guys live in your head all the time. Like I know that we are so much more similar than we are different in these areas because we're just all a bunch of women trying to figure out why our bodies are not responding to all of these preconceived programs instead of like dialing in on the system. But anyway, okay. But here is the hope. Bodies don't need years to respond. You don't have to take years. And remember, it took me like 3 to 4 years just to trade out my foods. That was just because I was doing it all on my own and I had to learn that new language. And I felt my limiting beliefs were that it was going to be really, really hard. Okay. So I had to change a few things in my head. But your body doesn't need that long. That's why when you guys come to me and you're like, oh my gosh, in 90 days, I lost 3 inches here, here, and here. This, oh my gosh, like my sleep is better. My energy is better, whatever. Like, and you can start to see results faster than you probably think. You just need the right signals, repeated consistently over time. It's like the firing. It's like that, having that connection over and over and over again. So in 90 days, most women don't look finished, but they do look different. Okay. So less reactive, less inflamed, maybe less desperate. Wouldn't that feel nice? Right? So in the first 30 days, I'll tell you what most women do notice. So most of the time, what I'm talking about is the fact that I'm going to see if I have something else. You're describing me. It's time to get it on. Oh, Barb, I know. Sue, hello. Good to see you. I know, but you know what? You're not alone. You're so not alone. We all are kind of in this together. We've all made our own different strides, and you guys should be so proud of yourselves. And I always say this because, listen, somebody you know is not sitting on content talking about insulin resistance. They are instead just spending time, maybe whatever. Maybe they're binging Netflix. Maybe they're, who knows what they're doing. But you are deciding to be your own advocate. You should always be really, really proud of yourself. Every time you take in something that gives you an opportunity to shift something, just be proud and then just move on. So my nose is running just a tiny bit. Uno momento, por favor. So this is when I start talking about, okay, I teach 2 things. And I always say, like, aren't you glad I only teach 2 things? Like, what if I taught 50 things? What if I said to you, okay, everybody gather around. There are 50 steps for your progress. You'd be like, what? Like, I don't want to learn 50 steps. That sounds like a dance class. That sounds like something that, like a choreographed thing that I have to figure out. No, 2 things. 2, food ingredient trade outs to the foods that you already love. Okay. Because you don't give up what you love. You just trade out the ingredients to what you love. And then very specific targeted supplementation. Why? Because if you have high insulin, you have to get it down in order to burn fat. So remember, we're talking about the belly today. And there's the cortisol belly and the insulin belly. The point being is that high hormones, it's just hormones. Insulin is a hormone. Cortisol is a hormone. GLP-1 is a hormone. It's all hormonal, right? But that sounds so mountainous. It sounds, oh, well, hormones, who can understand this? Oh my gosh. Like what's bioidentical and what's not, and should I be on something, and should I be doing, replacement therapy, and should I, do I need to get my labs done, and do I have to have like panels, and do I have to have, and these are the things that go through our head because they've created kind of a challenging conversation around this. Like, oh my goodness gracious, what are peptides, and doing, am I low on estrogen, or is it testosterone, or is it, there's a lot of conversation. So what I want to do is I want to come and I want to make this like super duper simple for you in terms of, that's a lot of productive conversation for sure. And that is a much different conversation than we're having. It's not my wheelhouse. Okay. But sometimes I feel like this is the base foundation conversation that absolutely every female can have. When you need something that is very specific, because you have more complicated issues. I used to work with a naturopath and she was just amazing. When you have that might be a direction you go, but let's start at the very beginning, right? That song. We're going to start at the very beginning. Insulin and cortisol are hormones, and they're creating a little bit of havoc for you. We live a very stressful life and we're not getting the sleep we should be getting. And our food, the food that we eat, is in a constant state of raising our sugars and calling on insulin. And now once we're resistant, we are in storage mode. So we might have a body that is in survival mode, a body that is in storage mode, or both. And then we're like, what the heck is going on? Therefore, I focus very much on your liver, your gut, and your insulin, because if you can get those 3 aligned, this is why the results come. Okay. So like the total body reset, and I'll go over that here in just a minute, but that's 6 pieces. The food piece is inside the group that I do in the challenge every month. So the 6 pieces are there's the gut primer and the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. And then there's a fat burner. Oopsie. And then there's a probiotic. Okay. So this is kind of like that piece. Okay. But the reason why I'm showing you that is because oftentimes what women will find for themselves is within like the first 30 days, common to have like less bloating, cravings simmering down, like that food noise starting to tank. And you're like, oh, wow, I can think clearly enough to be able to like learn a new recipe, shop for different ingredients, trade out my pantry. That's why every single month in the group, when we do the challenge, I take you into my pantry and my refrigerator so that your brain can start to connect to, oh, I could go try that ingredient. I could do that, like, because it's a little at a time, right? But first 30 days, better sleep. This would be common. Your genes starting to fit differently. And you're like, oh, well, look at me. You know, I'm not so bloated. I'm not so puffy. That feels really good, right? By the end of 60 days, that's why I always tell you, like, think in terms of 90 days and then let's reassess, right? And I can help you reassess that. But after 60 days, that energy starts to come back. And you're like, oh, I haven't felt this way for a little while. Like my energy is starting to come back. Your food noise really begins to kind of quiet down. And that's why people are like, oh, you just have so much discipline. No. Well, I'm not going to say that I don't because I've learned my habits, right? But it's more than that. This is less about the discipline of it. It's more about I actually did something internally so that it could like just like sit down and shut up, right? That's really what that is. The belly starts to feel softer and not so tight after about 60 days. You're really getting that internal system, the inflammation, the bloating, and all the stuff moving, the impacted waist, etc., right? But you're getting that insulin down. And high insulin is high inflammation, okay? Then after about 90 days, and each month, most people are losing about 1 inch. If you measure yourself right here, under your boob, and then your waist, and then your hips, right down here, here. If you're measuring, what you will find is about 1 inch a month. So you'll have about a good 3 inches off of different spots. And you're like, whoa, this is noticeable. And that is going to be primarily because of the fat burner. I'm just telling you, it literally targets like an arrow. It targets your visceral fat. The visceral fat is in your trunk under what you can squeeze. That's just what it is. And it's highly inflammatory and hormonal, all of the things. So good morning, Sharon. Happy last Monday in 2025. Isn't that crazy? God, it's so crazy how years just do go by. It's like a nuts, right? But this is where don't make like a New Year's resolution to go like hard on everything. Just all you have to do is give yourself permission for the journey. Whether it's January 1 or it's March 1 or it's July 1. I'll talk about it all year long. Give yourself permission for the journey. You're worth it. You deserve it. Okay? Like this is very, very important because of who it impacts in your life. Jeanette, good morning, Jeanette. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so after 90 days, the body starts trusting you again. And again, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm really not. But it's kind of like your systems start to get a habit and a routine. It kind of knows what to expect a little bit. And that is a good feeling, right? So fat loss finally feels more possible, not so forced. Not like you're trying to just put a round peg into a square hole or a square peg into a round hole, whatever, right? No numbers, no hype. Remember, I always say there's no jazz hands about this. This is literally what I have sourced for myself. And then I offer it to you and tell you you could do the same thing. And then let's, in this community, do this together because the results have been so amazing and very health altering, even though, of course, there's never any promises for that. But when you start to regulate your body and you start to regulate bringing down that insulin and getting your liver to actually get up and function, and you're getting that inflammation down, and you're doing all of these things. When you start to do that, people get off of all, not, well, okay, I'm not going to say all. I don't want to say things that sound really hypish. People get off of a lot of scripts. A lot. Because there was a core issue that was happening. So HBP, omeprazole because of acid reflux, constipation, over-the-counter helpers, sometimes MET or GLP, if you know what I mean. I'm just telling you, like, I've had people get off of, there was a fibro one, IBS. I've had people get off of anti-anxiousness ones. I'm just telling you, like, you start to work on your gut where all of your serotonin is made, like 90%. You start to recalibrate your systems. Your body goes, it's kind of like your body wakes up. I remember very clearly after, when I was in labor with my youngest son. This is going to sound really kind of funny, but, I'm in labor with him and it's horrible. It's horrible. Like, who could ever explain labor and delivery to you, right? Nobody can. Those Lamaze classes were a freaking joke. But anyway, so I am in a lot of intensity and my head is down and I'm just like, oh, and I just cannot wrap my head around what I'm doing right now, right? And they came in and they said, you know, well, we can do an epidural. And they gave me an epidural. And all of a sudden it was like, I woke up. It was all of a sudden I went, and I looked around and I could see things clearly. Like my mind wasn't so clouded, etc. And I feel like that's what we can do to our internal systems. And that's why oftentimes people are like, oh my gosh, I'm actually sleeping, or I'm actually my bloating, like I can zip my jeans and whatever it is for you, or my labs are coming back differently. And I'm like, yep, because you actually worked on the internal system, right? So if you're going into this new year, like you're just trying harder, you're just going to go harder, you're going to doggone it for the, you know, I'm going to hit the gym every single day for the next 6 months, even though I haven't been in the gym for 3 years. You know, maybe you will do that. Maybe you will, but that's not required of everybody. There are some steps that you can take that are actually way more easy, simplistic. And actually, you guys, like, I'll tell you about it, but you can get paid back for your journey. Like, if you wanted to start right now, you've seen my content and you've always thought about starting, the end of December is a really good little cash cow for you right now. So I'll tell you about that in just a second. But if you go in sending just better signals, like to your body, if you start to get your body to give you different signals and you give it, like, you can actually have transformation. And that's a way better place to be. Way better place to be. Just telling you. So having said that, hold on, I want to see. Good morning, Carrie. Good to see you. And blood sugar consistently down, Carmel. Boy, I'll tell you, this is such a big one. Oh, my goodness, hold on. What did you say, Carmel? You're a little over 100 days. Your genes feel better. Your sleep is great. Oh my gosh, you're so good, Carmel. Your sleep is great. Energy is coming. Your bowels are regular. You're so excited for the rest of this journey. And your blood sugars are down. I see the whole thing now, Carmel. That's very exciting. That's very exciting. I'm a little over 100 days. Genes feel better. Your sleep is great. Your energy is coming. Your bowels are regular. You're excited for the rest of the journey and your blood sugars are down. This is the direction. If you go to the doc and they give you stuff that doesn't do all of this for you, then why do we keep repeating the same cycle? If we are fatter than we've ever been, more medicated than we've ever been, sicker than we've ever been in the last 50, 60 years, what they've been telling us hasn't been working. And I don't care what new trial med they've got out there. It doesn't matter. Like, potentially, they will ban pharma ads again. I'd say that's a high likelihood. And they should. They should. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Every single one of you know, if I were to say to you, if you listen to the end of a pharmaceutical ad and they tell you that, with really, really fast language that, you could lose the left arm and there'll be anal leakage and you're going to be on, this. I mean, I literally listened to an ad the other day. I could not even believe it. It was an ad saying that just in case your anti-sadness med is not working well enough for you, we have another one to back it up. You should be taking that one and now this one. And I'm like, what are we doing? They're admitting it didn't work. And now they're just going to add, this is ridiculous. And this is the cycle that we got in. But anyway, okay. So Patty says that starting in June was perfect. It meant for me that I wasn't looking for the latest trend to start the new year with. This is really, really good, Patty. That's really, really good. I'm feeling great. And now I have a huge jumpstart to my old habit. This is awesome. So grateful. I'm so glad, Patty. It really is like, it doesn't matter the month. I just want you guys to get out of this January thought process. I mean, if you want to do this right now because of the extra little cash bonus, do it for that. And there's nothing wrong with doing something in January, but you have to change the mindset around it. It's not that you're going to go, hard for, 6 months in the gym or something. Instead, it's about, this is the year I give myself permission. This is the year I allow myself to feel like it's okay to go on a journey for me. For me. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm not going to feel shame around it. I'm not going to let anybody else give me a side eye of oh, you're trying something else. No, you just give yourself permission for the journey. And you might be like me and you just really don't tell anybody what you're doing. That was me. It was just me and Jesus, baby. Me and Jesus. Marilyn, now what are you saying? You guys are so filled with amazing testimonies this morning. Good morning, sweet friend. It's nice going into the new year without needing to make all of the dramatic changes. You've helped ease into healthy habits for the last 4 months. I'm doing the total body reset with great results. Marilyn, thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's just, if all of this stuff has not worked for all of these years, let's just try something different. Let's just try something different. So the total body reset are basically 6 pieces. This is what they're talking about. Okay. For anybody that wants to know. And I used to have a phone here that I could show you on my site, and I don't have that right now. Somebody else is actually using it in my family. So I'll have to get another backup phone to show you. But my site, here we go, is my first last name.com, Kirsten Liebelt.com, KirstenLiebelt.com. Okay. And right there at the top, you'll see the total body reset. It's like button number 2. Super easy to find. In fact, here, I'll do this. Right here. And if you take a screenshot and flip it in your phone, you can just go and look at it, okay? And you guys, it's already there for you right there. And the 6 pieces are the 3 that I started with when I was a 2X in size, when I turned 50. This is helping your insulin and your sugars. This one is helping your liver. And this one is helping your metabolism. And this is what I did very effectively while I was trading out my sugar, my food ingredients. So this one is 3 times a day. So I would get up in the morning and I would take a set of this. And then after lunch, I would take, during lunch, before lunch, it depends on you're supposed to take this before you eat. It's trying to help you with your cravings. So let's just say before. Let's just, have I been the most religious person ever about timing on everything? No. Perfection is not required. So I would take a set of this in the morning, a set of this at lunch, and then later in the day, I would just take 1 more of this. That's it. That's super simple. And that's all of the tablet pill that there is. That's it. Then the next 3 are powders. Okay. The other half of it. So that's insulin, sugar, liver, metabolism. This is the gut primer that I was telling you that I took this morning. And it was just tasted so good because, like I said, I'm a little sneezy right now. And it's like, it just tasted good because it's so fresh. It's, and everything is off of organic farms and all of the things. But when you know that you're flooding your body with nutrition, it just, I don't know. There's just something that your body receives it so well. So 1 scoop of this every morning. I do it in a little bit of cold water, froth it up with my frother, and I take it like a wellness shot. The greens are already fermented. There are already digestive enzymes in there, and the pre and the postbiotics and all of the things, the alkaline spices and the fiber that you need and all of the amazingness like that. Okay. That's all in there for you. Okay. And so I do that. Then the next 2 are also powders. One is 5 live strains. I put them on my tongue every morning. I already did this morning. Just don't take it with anything hot. Live strains that literally have stick to the gut technology and stay alive technology, which is really important because your stomach acids can kill, right? So you need something that's going to actually make it to the gut, make it to the lining so that it sticks to your gut. Okay. You want that. So that's that. And then the last one is the orange pixie stick. This is where it tastes like candy, just like an orange pixie stick, like when you're a little kid. I mean, I always tell you guys, do this one 90 days on and 30 days off. And I'm ready now for my 30 days off in January, and I will miss it for 30 days. I will miss it because it tastes so good, but it's a thermogenic. And the reason why you take 30 days off is just so that your body doesn't get used to it, because you want the residual results. So when you hear somebody on here that says, oh, over the last year of my journey, I've lost 13 and a half inches from under my boobs, my waist, and my hips, or 14 inches, depending upon, who's giving their testimony. That's because they allowed their body to not get used to that thermogenic. And it's like, wow. And it's targeting this. Your visceral fat is not inside of your knees. It's not here on your arm. It's not, it's your trunk. It's laying down around and in your organs and your intestines. That's the fat that you want to target. And getting those results from you guys, my MRI showed a bad fatty liver going to mild. Like, those are the results that are gold. They're priceless, because now you're changing the effect of your health. You're changing your lab reports. Okay. But right now, for anybody who is like, well, I was kind of thinking about it, or I've been following you for a long time. If you start in December, you already get the normal campaign all year long. Many of you are cashing out every 3 months. You're cashing out. What does that look like? Well, when you purchase 150 or more 3 months in a row, normal, you don't have to track it. You don't have to have it on an auto ship, but you might want to be on an auto ship, because I do send out 2 full-size products every month to people who have an auto ship that does fire. That's my own dealio. But from the company, every 3 months, they will just take $75 off your 3rd month. Who else is going to give you $75 off of a journey? Nobody's going to do that. Right now, they're doing an extra bonus. Like, you do the 150 in December. This is for somebody new. If you're already on your thing, you're going to get it anyway. So don't worry about it. If you're already on your system, like, just stay steady. You're going to get the extra bonus. But for somebody who's brand new, I'm talking specifically to somebody who is like, I've been thinking about trying the total body reset. This is a really good time to try it. You start in December. Right away in January, they're going to give you $50 off, because that's your New Year's bonus. And then in February, you're going to get your $75 bonus. So you're just going to go, like, you're going to roll into a really good moment in time right now, where you can feel like you're being rewarded for your consistency, like nobody else is going to reward you for your consistency. And then remember how we talked about, just what this means in terms of how this makes you feel. After the first 30 days, this is normal. And this is results from you guys. And it's normal to have lost 1 inch, like under your boob, your waist, your hips. That's normal. Okay. Less bloating, calmer cravings, better sleep. Your genes are fitting differently because of that visceral fat. Then after 2 months, so now that would be like at the end of, if you started now, about the end of January, then at the end of February, because you're ordering later in the month, right? At the end of February, your energy is coming back. Your food noise is really quieting down. Actually, it's probably sooner than that, but let's under promise and over deliver. Let's not exaggerate, right? I don't want to do that. There's no jazz hands on this. But your belly starts to feel softer, not so tight. It's starting to really like simmer down on a lot of that inflammation and moving that impacted waste and getting those toxins going. And then at the end of March, because again, we're starting late in December for that person, right? Then this is where your body really starts to kick into gear, and you are in really good fat releasing mode. This is where that fat loss starts to feel more normal and not so forced. Because again, you're just giving yourself permission for the journey. But make sure then also understand, get into the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. It'll say give your email to get in there, and that is true. But if you have purchased the Total Body Reset, you're going to get a text helping you to get in there anyway, helping to remind you to get in there. Because then we'll do the challenge at the beginning of January. We'll do the challenge at the beginning of February. We'll do the challenge at the beginning of March. And every month you'll have that opportunity to take, 1 or 2 nuggets and to implement them. And then do it again. Right? Like that is walking journey, giving yourself permission for the journey, and then walking journey with somebody or some people. It's very, very, it's worth so much to you. You don't even know how much it's worth for not just your results, but for your ability to trust yourself again, that even though you've done all of these other programs, listen, I did them all. I've done the grapefruit diet and the cabbage soup diet, and I've done it all, literally all, the WW, but nothing did I ever do that was through the lens of insulin resistance so that I could shift the way my body was functioning. So Terry says, I love the pixie stick. Measured again this morning and lost more inches, even though the scale is stable. Terry, that is fantastic. I just love it. I thought maybe after a year I was going to stop. I haven't stopped because I keep getting results. They don't promise that, but I just keep going. Shannon. Oh, Shannon, you're back from your Alaska trip. You waited too long to hop on, so you've missed most of this. That's okay, Shannon. You grab the replay and feel free to reach out for me and I'll get you set up. Remember that if you start in December, you can get the $50 off on the January order and the $75 off on the February order. So you're not too late. I hope your Alaska trip was amazing. We loved doing our Alaska cruise. It was phenomenal. So good. Carrie says, I love it, but I have to take this month off. I know. I'm really taking January off. It's okay. It's all right. You did see a difference in your trunk area. I know, Carrie. It's really quite interesting. And again, we really did want these types of products available to us. We really did want this science back when it was the 80s and the 90s, but we were told that that would never happen. And now that it is there, it's kind of a little bit like, are you serious right now? And I feel like, even myself, when I started implementing, like, for instance, adding this in to my universe, I didn't say anything to you guys for a long time because I wanted to know my results because I was skeptical myself. So I understand what that feels like to be like, that can't possibly be true. But it literally was, it's backed by so many scientists. And this was actually developed for the sports nutrition line. So I kind of snagged it out of the sports nutrition line and brought it into our universe for you because I was like, wow. And then to be able to get visceral fat scans, the results of that, to be able to get an MRI on it, like, this makes me very happy to be able to say, like, we can actually begin to affect things that are super important. We want the better jeans fitting and we want all of those things. And me too. I still to this day don't really know how to always dress myself and my body shape and my body type and blur, 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 blur. And especially as it changes and stuff. And we want all of that. But what we really want in the end is we want high function, because we don't want to age poorly. We don't want to feel like crap forever. You taking care of your health now changes the way your 70s and in your 80s and in your 90s. You're doing something now that will affect your ability to be around and available and present for your family, for your grandbabies, for your, somebody texted me, or was it on a live? I don't remember now. Just had a great grandbaby. No, it was a text in my, as a text, you just had a great grandbaby. What a great why. You know, you don't want to be so filled with brain fog and so exhausted because you can't sleep at night, or so fatigued because your body's not getting any nutrition into the cell that you can't even be present for all of this amazingness of life. Like, life is electric. Life has so many good things, but if we are clogged and clouded, we don't even get to, we're just surviving. And nobody wants to just survive. Nobody signs up for, I can't wait to live and just survive. Nobody wants that. We want to be able to face each day and go, this is amazing. Whatever it is. You know, I went to the Mall of America on Friday and we walked around for hours. Maybe that's where I got my little sneezy. I don't know. Walked around for hours. And it's like, I want to be able to do that. We were with my oldest son. And I hadn't been there all season. But I'm telling you, it's like, I don't want to be limited to be able to just get out there and be a part of the world. Like, I don't want to do that. And I know you don't either. And that's why we do this together. So anyway, it was wonderful. Shannon, I will, Shannon, do you want me to reach out to you or do you want to reach out to me? I mean, you just let me know. Either way is great. But I will be back tomorrow. We are going to do, we'll be back here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow and Wednesday. There's only one day that I won't be here this week. That'll be New Year's Day because I'm going to go to a party. And then we'll be back again on Friday. So all the days are completely normal except for Thursday. And then next Monday we start. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Next Monday we are going to start the 5-day challenge in the group. So let me, like, get in the group if you want to get a part of that. In fact, I can put my little banner up on that right here. There it is. Just give your email to get in there, and then we will do the challenge, and then you can like take down the month of January, like just make it your slave. And then we'll do it again in February, and then you can take down February, and before you know it, you've done your 90-day insulin resistant reset. And then you can decide, is this something I want to continue? Most of you do, because most of you are kind of like, okay, that actually worked. Like, that actually did something to my system. And now I feel like I have more control over, what I'm able to accomplish. So like, you're happy about that. Anyway, all right, before I jump off, just in case Shannon doesn't answer yet, I'm going to write down your name, Shannon, because she might have jumped off. There we go. Okay. All right. You guys have the best day ever on the face of the planet. And I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. And if you need anything, Messenger, get in my DMs. If you go to my site, KirstenLiebelt.com, KIRSTEN, no space, LIEBELT.com. It's really short. Do one little scroll, and at the very bottom, you'll see all of these ways to message me, all of these ways to contact me, to ask me questions about the total body reset, to ask me questions about, maybe you're like, well, what was that about that $50 off and then that $75 off? And how do I do that? Make sure you're a registered customer, things like that. Reach out. Don't hesitate to ask questions, okay? And we will get you all fixed up. We will. Luana, you are so welcome. Good to see you, Luana. Here we are in our little Minnesota winter wonderland, aren't we? Oy vey. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Love you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.